Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Edelstein here with this week's installment of Rabbi E in 3, brought to you as always by MEOR DC. You can find us, MEOR DC, on Facebook. You can find me, Rabbi E, usually at one of the coffee places on campus at GW, like Gelbuck's or Pete's, meeting with students, sharing Jewish wisdom that I hope inspires them. And often it comes from the Torah portion of the week, which is what I want to speak with you about today. So it's calm, quiet, and peaceful here at GW, where I'm standing this morning. But the Torah portion, Noach, the second portion in the whole Torah, in the book of Bereshit, Genesis, is anything but quiet, calm, and peaceful. It tells the story of the great Mabul, flood. But the word flood doesn't do justice to the cataclysmic destruction that God brought upon the world in the early generations of mankind, saving only Noah and his children, their wives, and many, many animals on a huge teva, a huge ark, to repopulate the world. An unfathomable destruction. But there was a destruction before God brought water upon the world. It was even more unfathomable. And that's what I want to focus on. The moral destruction that mankind had brought upon itself in that generation. That's exactly what the Torah said. Before there's any rain that God brings down, it says, now the earth was destroyed before God, but timolei haaretz chamas, and the land was filled with stealing. And the verses before and after describe a level of wickedness, evil, selfishness that's hard to fathom. It says all the imaginings of the heart of a person was rak kol hayom, only evil all day long. There was idolatry and there was adultery, but the Torah puts a special emphasis on stealing. There were people taking from each other at every level, big, small, utter moral corruption. That was the destruction that led God to, after a long time waiting and giving those generations a chance to repent, that led God to bring a destruction called the Mabul, the flood, upon the world. I'm not going to compare it to today's society. We could. But the truth is, it's a story of every generation, meaning forces of selfishness within us, in, out. We have to battle against that. Now, in that generation, there was a great man, Noah. It says he was a tzaddik. He was righteous, he was tamim, he was wholehearted and morally pure. He walked with God. Do you think it was easy for him to resist the atmosphere? I don't think so at all. It was a battle. It's easy to say these words and we read the story in the Torah quickly, but can imagine the moral strength, courage that Noah had to show in order to preserve his own sanity and moral purity in that generation. And that's the story of our lives, really. Not to be too dramatic, right? But we're here in this world and we're supposed to be righteous and good and a blessing to the world and develop ourselves and help others and elevate the world in the process. And there are forces fighting against us in our own hearts. A force of taking. And really, as great rabbis have pointed out, all of life, in a sense, is a battle between the power of giving and the power of taking. Hashem, the giver par excellence, created us in his image to be givers. That generation had completely desecrated that vision of man and the world, and they were takers on every level, small and big. So we have to fight that battle to try to be givers, to try to be righteous, tzaddikim, and we can do it. Let's end on a good note. There was destruction in that generation, but there was creation. Noah created, he had 3 biological children. That was wonderful. He created himself. He made himself into a tzaddik. It says, these are the offspring of Noah. Noah was a righteous man. Right after that, to emphasize that he had children, but his main legacy, his offspring, was his own righteous deeds. Have a wonderful, peaceful, happy Shabbos. Thank you.